America. Welcome back into my living room. I switched spots. What I wanted to talk a little bit about is interracial relationships and dating. I'm getting comments again saying that, you've dated white men, you've married a white man. I don't understand how you can even speak on it. So I did have one, excuse all this stuff. I had one message. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to find it really quick to tell you exactly what it said. It said, so Wisdom Wonder 1 said, "This just feels hypocritical. How do you conclude that you cannot trust white people, but you made a child with one?" So let me answer that to you. First, I feel a little bit frustrated about this question, just because if you know wisdom, you realize that wisdom comes with time. So even if 9 years ago I wasn't thinking about white supremacy, I really wasn't. I wasn't thinking about white supremacy. I wasn't. I was kind of just living my life, and where I live around a lot of white people. At no point felt I dealt with racism, and I did not, honestly, in general, did not like most white people, just because of my interactions with them. There's probably maybe 2 to 3% black people where I live. The resources are awesome, the insurance and all that stuff, great resources. But so I did have my son, and I have white friends, and I've all my life been around white people. So on my journey, I'm learning about white supremacy, and I'm really having to wake up and see them for who they are. And in general, I do think that white people are white supremacists. Every fiber in my being. I've looked at certain ways psychologically that maybe they could not, that there could be some that aren't white supremacists. And for me, I do believe they would have to be raised under a rock somewhere, because the system that we live in is based on white supremacy. Our education system is white supremacy. Our newscast, our news system, white supremacy. You can't escape it. You can't really escape it. You cannot see it. There's millions and millions of black people right now that don't see it. They don't see the white supremacy. They don't see the constant terrorism on a global scale. They don't see that. And you know what? 9 years ago, I wouldn't have. You could have talked to me about white people, and I said, no, most white people are nice, and most white people aren't racist. And now I know that to be completely false. I know that majority of white people are racist. I know that all white people are white supremacists, because they're in the same system that we're in. Only the system benefits them. So when they walk outside and they see white people everywhere, they see that their doctors are white, the newscast people are white, the people on their billboards are white, and all magazines are white. You are taught a white education system. Everything is white, white, white. So it's impossible for white people to not be white supremacists. Being as it may, I did have a child with a white man. I did marry a white man. And you know what? All that, I do not regret that. I don't. I regret having my child by a white man, but I don't regret my child. I love my son. I would never give him up in any way. He's awesome. He's an amazing child. But I've dealt with racism on personal levels. I've not in relationships. And you know, I thought about this, and I was talking to my sister about it yesterday. How a lot of Black people in interracial relationships will say, we don't have a problem with race in our relationship. Like, race isn't an issue. And I thought about that, and I get where they're coming from. I get where, because I've been younger, when I was 19, 20, in relationships, and I never thought race was an issue. It was never brought up. It was not brought up in arguments. It was not brought up in everyday conversations. It just wasn't brought up. And so when I thought about that, I thought, you know what? I get where these people are thinking that racism isn't in their relationship. And then I'm like, it's not in their relationships because it's not being brought up. It's still an issue, but it's not an issue that they're dealing with. And that's what they have to understand. If you're in a relationship, in an interracial relationship, racial issues need to be brought up. It is an issue in your relationship. Just because you choose to ignore it does not mean it isn't there. And I did that. I'm guilty of ignoring racial issues because I don't know. I don't know if I don't think I did it on a conscious level where I was just like, hey, let's talk about race. It was just, this is my relationship, and we're not, obviously in 2000, race wasn't being talked about as much as it is today. And it needs to be talked about, and I'm glad that it's talked about, and I'm comfortable talking about it. And I'm trying to answer people's questions as best I can. I usually don't want to do videos just on answering someone's question, but I think that a lot of people are wondering why, maybe why now, how I'm not a hypocrite. And what I say to that is, if you're the same person today you were 10 years ago, then you are not growing. You have no growth. And then that's the thing that you need to focus on if you're the same person. I am not the same person I was 10 years ago. I am not the same person I was 9 years ago, or 8 or 6 or 7 or 5. I'm not the same person I was yesterday. I am constantly growing. I'm constantly learning stuff, and I'm constantly changing. White supremacy has always been an issue to me. It hasn't been as much right now where it's like an everyday thing, but if you ask anyone in my family, I've always called people out on their racism, in a store, in the mall, in anywhere. If you're being racist, you're getting called out on it. I actually, in early 2000, I think it was 2003, I actually sued one of my jobs for racial discrimination, and I won my case. Well, we settled for $20,000, and I don't just look past white supremacy. I never have. I've never looked past white supremacy. I know you're wondering, well, you dated white men, and yes, I have, and I've had some great relationships. I've had some decent relationships. I've had some short bad relationships, but none of them were based on racial disagreements. They might today, they would probably be. Today, if I were to date a white man, he would have to deal with white supremacy, and his goal needs to be to end white supremacy. And I don't know if that's something that could be found right now, but I'm not really looking. I'm really kind of just focused on ending white supremacy. To me, it is global terrorism. It is terrorism on such a large scheme, and that's what we should be focused on. We really need to start focusing on where we want to be. we have the same enemy. Our enemy is white supremacy. White supremacy is this global terrorism. That's our goal. And looking through other Black people's videos and critiquing and on their hair and on their nails and their makeup and whether they've past dated a white man or has a child by a white man. Yes, I have a child by a white man. I do. I love my child. I still talk to my son's I still talk to my ex-husband who is white. I don't get along with my son's dad who's white, but I still talk to him. I have no choice but to talk to him. There's grandparents that are white. I talk to them. There is zero chance that I can go a day without talking to a white person because I live around white people. So I don't feel the need that I need to apologize to Black people because I talk to white people or I'm around white people. I don't hate white people. I don't. I seriously have zero hate in my heart for white people. I feel like if you're at war, you're at war. And with war, there are casualties. And I'm okay with that. You don't need to sit there and feel hate. Hate destroys yourself. Hate destroys your soul. I'm not letting white supremacists destroy my soul. If we're honestly, I think we're preparing for war, and that's what it is. In war, people die. In war, people live. That's just what it is. And right now, we really need to start focusing on how we're going to save ourselves. Because while we have so many Black people focused on destroying other Black people, whether on these blogs, whether in real life, wherever it's at. Black people look at Black people are my competition. And I have Black people calling me bitches and saying that I'm a bed wench and that I need to change all the way up to I need to change my voice. Like something's wrong with my voice. And I'm tired of talking to Black people about my voice. Like, I'm not going to talk to you about my voice. I've made it quite clear that I have a biracial son. I made it quite clear that I have a biracial ex-husband. And I made it quite clear that I have my son's dad is white and he's in my life. And, oh, well, not too close. He's in California, thank God, because I really definitely white supremacists. I can't stand him. But I have to argue with them over the fact that they're white supremacists. And they are white supremacists. And I think that it's important to bring to white people's attention that they are white supremacists. Because a lot of white people don't think they're white supremacists. They don't think they're white supremacists. They don't think that they're racist. And they don't think that they're contributing to the problem. And so to have Black people that will go out there and tell these white people, you are white supremacists, here is why, and this is what you could do to help end white supremacy. We need to do that. And I don't care if Black people are saying we don't need any white people to help us. Well, you know what? In America, there's more white people than there are Black people. So the more allies we can get. I'm not saying you need to cuddle up and marry and have kids and do all that stuff with white people. But where we're at right now, it's time to educate, and I'm fine with taking time out to educate people because I have to take the time out to educate Black people when they want to talk about hair or lipstick. I have to take the time out to educate coons guys that want to make videos talking about how horrible Black people are. These are things that we don't need. These are things that we need to check. Definitely go on those people's sites and check the fact that they're putting down Black people. I have to check white people who want to troll and ask stupid questions and call me a nigger and want to threaten my life. I have to deal with those white people. So when I have to deal with Black people, because I need to explain to them how I'm not a hypocrite, because because I have white people in my life and because I have a biracial child, all that does for me is give me insight on how white people are. Because the thing is, you wouldn't go to a psychiatrist who's never had any patients and never did anything with psychiatry. That she doesn't know anything about it. You wouldn't go to her for knowledge. So I don't understand why me having knowledge, me being around white people, me talking to white people, that's knowledge. White people troll our sites. White people troll black people's sites so that they can see what we're doing, so that they can gain knowledge on us. So it is only beneficial to us and the black community to have black people that are around white people. That is beneficial to you. So we can jump on this bandwagon and say, you know, I hate white people and I just want to be so far away from them. If you feel that way, that is great. There's different levels that we're on. You can feel that way and you can shut all the white people you possibly can out of your life. I'm going to shut most of them out of my life. There's some that I don't have a choice but to deal with. And those people I'm going to deal with. And I'm not going to be rude. And I'm not going to be nasty. And I'm going to be around white people. Because if I walk outside of my apartment, white people. If I go to Safeway, white people. If I go to the bank, white people. If I go no matter where I go, when I go pick up my kid from school, his teachers are white, his after school people are white. I'm very lucky that he has a very awesome black principal. So, but those people are white, and if I just decide I'm not going to talk to them, then I'm not going to know what's going on with my son. I'm not going to be able to tell them the things that they may not teach my son. I'm not going to be able to give them examples of positive things that they can teach my son. We have to be able to communicate with them, and we need to know how they work and how they think. And that's why even on my sister's channel, she really focuses on the psychology of white people, because that's what you need to know. They're trolling our channel so that they know they can learn the psychology of black people, so they can learn what are black people thinking, what, you know, where are they at. Go do that. I mean, I'm really not suggesting it. I think it's pointless to watch white people's hate channels. It's really pointless. We already know where they're at. We already know they're white supremacists. We already know they're terrorists. But if we need to watch them so we know what their next terrorist act is going to be. Because it's always out there. I don't watch the news because honestly, I'm going to tell you guys something. I have major anxieties. So it's really hard for me to watch negative stuff and watch the news, and but I do as much as I can, because it's very important that we know what they're doing. And I'm not saying buy into everything they say, because there's a lot of trickery and a lot of lies, and you have to really be able to see through it. But all I can do is do my best. Today, my anxieties are at a 10. Like really my stomach, nauseous. I'm really trying to work with it and to stay calm. But when people are telling me that I'm a hypocrite and I know that I'm not, I know where I'm at. I know where my door opened to this knowledge so quickly. Like, I was somebody else, and then you get so much knowledge that it hurts. Because a lot of people that are even watching aren't there yet. And it's not fun to be here. It's not fun to see all the evils in the world. It's not fun to have your entire existence of what you thought life was swept away. And now you see all the evil, and you feel the evil, and you see this deep-seated hatred that white people have for black people. There's no justifications. It's just this sheer evil, and you see it and you feel it, and people, they look different to you. They look different. Most of them don't even look human to me anymore. It's not a fun place to be, but that's where I'm at, and I'm learning, I'm discovering, I'm figuring out who I am and where I stand in this. That's what I'm doing. That's my journey, and that's where I'm at. So if you feel like I'm hypocritical, I hope that this helps you to know that I'm not being a hypocrite. I'm on a journey. And I said that on a different video. I am on a journey. This is my journey. It's not going to happen faster than it happens, and it's not going to happen slower than it happens. It's just going to happen. And I'm trying to do my best. I think it's very important that as many Black people as possible start talking about this, start feeling it, and really wanting to end this terrorist white supremacy. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I really hope that we can all start getting along and building unity. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I will try to answer as many comments as I can, but again, I can't get to every comment. So thank you.